All right, what you see here is a Casablanca Panama II ceiling fan. It is an XTR version, not a XLP one. So the performance on this one's going to be a bit different than the one I have in my bedroom in the apartment. This one I got from Nathan, along with another fan from my dad's house. This is going to be the fan that goes in my bedroom at my dad's house. And I was going to put a spotlight on it, but since I couldn't find one in time, I figured maybe just get one of these Hampton Bay ceiling lights and mount it to the switch housing. And honestly, it looks pretty good on it, in my opinion. It has like a modern look of a low profile light on it, which is actually what I was trying to look for, either that or a spotlight. However, I figured if I'm not going to be there that often, it's better to go with the cheaper option, which was this, instead of getting a brand new spotlight. I could always do a spotlight down the road, but I think maybe I'd rather use this on it instead, especially if it's only for when I stay there occasionally. But yeah, it has an integrated LED in it, which is the only downside in my opinion. But yeah, I'm not gonna be there all the time and such, so it's not like it's gonna get used all that much. Some people probably aren't gonna like how this looks, but it's honestly the look I was looking for, to like have like a modernish looking low profile light. The only thing I kind of wish is that the metal portion here was a bit thinner and such, but I mean, you can still see the switch housing. At least you can, from let's say, you can still see the Casablanca tag, which is the most important thing for me. And I do have it directly like with the switch cap on it, so it's not like it's installed without the switch cap. So that way it hangs a little bit lower and such. But yeah, basically I just got two longer screws to have it screw into the switch housing. And I gotta say, for a $30 light, like it honestly doesn't look too bad, like appearance wise. And I do have these two Casablanca fan poles on it. I was thinking of doing like a Hampton Bay one with two for the room and such. But sometimes I do know that the capacitors and those and the receivers tend to go out, so I figured maybe avoid that. And put up something that I don't have to really worry about going out and such. And thankfully this fan, it's actually a quiet XTR one, it's not a noisy one. With those fans, it's kind of a hit or miss. But yeah, Nathan did do a video of it, and it's also a 4-speed one, which is neat. I remember when he first got it, I was telling him I was always interested in getting it and such. Mostly because it had like a reddish looking blaze, not rosewood, it was like cherry wood, I think, I'm not sure. If you see his video of it, you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, I really do like how this light looks on it a lot more than I thought I would. I was kind of hesitant, but it really looks nice on it, in my opinion. Some might say that it doesn't look like it kind of looks too like a do-it-yourself type of light, which, I mean, it kind of does, but I've seen a lot of fans that have these type of lights on them nowadays anyway, so I figured it'd kind of give it a modern touch to it and such. Plus, it kind of has a campy look to it, which is kind of the look I'm going for and such. So, yeah. The fan is from April 14th of the year 2005, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's the first year they did XTR. So, yeah. And here it is with the light on. It gives off a decent amount of light, honestly. And I don't want something that gives off a ton of light in that bedroom anyway, so that's why I figured I'd do this or a spotlight. But I figured it'd be more useful to just put this on it, because if I have a spare spotlight, obviously I don't want to use a K4B on it, because I'm and such. I'd rather use like maybe a generic spotlight, but I could always use that for something else as well, for testing, so I'd rather not. I'd rather just put this on it and call it a day. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the lighting and do a lighting test. I gotta say, it actually lights up the basement pretty well. Like, this is honestly a light I'd even use in this apartment here. Like, it's not super bright, it's not in your face. Like, it's very gentle for like a bedroom and such. And that's exactly what I figured this would be like the best look for it, like lighting wise. I don't want to do a K4S. A lot of people like those. I don't dislike them, but it depends on like the look I'm going for a room. If it's for like a kitchen or a living room, yes, but like for a bedroom, I want to do it for my room, that is. But it really looks like something you'd see like in an RV, like a simple looking fan with like a low profile light that looks somewhat like this. So that's kind of the look I wanted to try to create with this. And honestly, I really am pleased with how it turned out. Now you might be wondering why it's on a hang through, and that's because I am using a 2-inch down rod from a newer Panama that I got from somebody. They don't need a shorter down rod, so I'm just going to keep this 2-inch one and use it on that. So that way I can have it closer to the ceiling, because the ceiling is a little bit lower than here at this apartment in my bedroom. But just seeing how much lower it hangs, I'm definitely going to look into getting another 2-inch down rod like this from Hunter or Casablanca to put on the Panama in my bedroom. That way I can take it off the LCA, because I definitely have been thinking about lowering it, but not with the 3 to 4-inch down rod that they come with. But this will lower it enough that it's not going to hang too much lower, but it will still, at least it will move more air. But, yeah. So let me go ahead and start off on low speed. But yeah, this is definitely, if he ever was to sell the house, I would definitely take this fan out. So it's not one I'd leave there and such. Yeah, the reason why I think I'd do this way is that way I don't have like spotlights in the way, because I feel like even with the spotlights I might hang a little bit lower. So I think I'd just play it safe and do a low profile light on it. Now I was trying to find an actual low profile light in brushed nickel for this fan, but this is literally the cheapest option I can really find for like the look I was looking for, or one that was in brushed nickel. They have a Hampton Bay one in white, but that's $50. And that one I would have got, but they don't have it in brushed nickel. But then I saw this light on display there, and I was like, you know, this actually, the way it is, it might work on a fan, and it definitely works on it in my opinion. I know some of the Casablanca purists are gonna hate this, but it's gonna work for what I need it to do. So that's really all that matters to me. I was trying to find like one of those Casablanca dome type lights, like not the halogen ones, but like it's like those kind of like low profile lights that they had for Casablanca. I was trying to find one of those for this, but I just couldn't find one and such. So I figured this would be the closest thing I can get to get that look and such. But the shape of it, I feel, definitely goes nicely with the shape of the motor housing and such. Does the white look a little bit bulky on it? I mean, yeah, a little bit, but I can't complain too much. I mean, it's either this white or a schoolhouse white on it, which I really would not want to do. I'd rather have something like this on it. I mean, it kind of does look like something you'd see like on a showroom catalog and such. I mean, at least it's not one of those ceiling lights like the ones that a lot of people see for like $10 that have the finale in the center brushed nickel. I mean, if I put one of those on here, it would look a lot more obvious that it's a ceiling light attached to a fan. But this one at least kind of looks like a light kit in a sense. So that's why I figured I'd go with this one. Especially with the pole chain being built in on the side, I feel like that really gives it more of a light kit look versus a regular ceiling lamp. If it didn't have a chain on it, I feel like it would look a lot more like a ceiling lamp on it. But no, it's moving nice here on this speed. And I figured it's nice that this is a 4-speed, because for that room, I'm most likely not going to put a remote on it or wall control. I'm not sure if this light's dimmable or not. I gotta have to check the box for it. But if it's not, I mean, just the way it is just perfect. And even if the light was to go out, I mean, it's not replaceable really. you'd have to change the light inside of it, like with a whole new one, one of those integrated ones. There is enough space that if I wanted to, I could customize it where I could have 2 light sockets inside of it. So this one does have enough space in between it where I could put actual light bulbs in it. So that's the nice thing about it. I mean, I could always probably try to find another one of these lights, because this one, it just kind of screws in. It kind of like screws onto the light itself, or like the housing of it and such. So it is separate, removable from it. So it's not really that tricky to find another one like it. It's not like the HTC Murray, where those are like, where there's not enough space to put another light bulb in it. But again, the fans really only, the light's only going to really get used a lot when I'm there, which isn't going to be all that often. Maybe like every other month or something like that, or maybe once a month. Who knows? So it's not going to be like getting used every day, all the time, and such. If that was the case, I'd probably go for something different. All right, now for the medium low. That was my first, I think it's my first 4-speed Casablanca I'm testing down here. I mean, this is nice enough. I'd honestly even put it in the kitchen, to be honest. Now, thinking of putting the light wood blades I got from the Delta Brush Nickel Delta 2, well, now I've learned that it's actually a Delta 3. I was thinking about putting those on it, but since maple blades are definitely, I feel, are a lot more common to come across, I figured maybe just put these on it. Plus, if I ever needed to borrow a maple blade for testing, I can always just steal the set off of the Panama II in my bedroom for a brief period, just to put them on a fan that I'm testing. I mean, maple and oak and white are like the 3 most common finishes I notice for Casablanca blades when it comes to like finding them on eBay and such. Whereas the white oak blade, I feel, is a little bit harder to find. Plus, I do like the glossy look, the semi-glossy look that these blades have. So I figured it'd be a little bit nicer looking for the room. It's not gonna match the flooring, but I kind of hope that whatever furniture they get, it's kind of like maple looking for the room, or whatever I can find for the room. I definitely would be willing to put furniture in there myself. One thing I wish is that with my bed in the bedroom here, it used to be a bunk bed. For those who remember, a while back my channel when I filmed the Glendale, it used to be a bunk bed in that room. And that top bunk I gave to the neighbor upstairs when they needed an extra bed. And when both me and the neighbors upstairs moved out of that apartment, when they sold the building to renovate it and such, they ended up throwing the frame away. And I actually do wish I still had that frame, because that would have been a perfect bed frame for that room. It might be a little bit small, but I mean, the finish of it would have been perfect with this fan. And I know my dad actually wanted it too, so it actually would have worked out perfectly. But they're not too hard to find in that color, at least. Well, yeah, it's just dead silent, which I really like. Kind of has like a modern diner look to it, I think, which is what I really like about it as well. I was thinking of like maybe finding a white Casablanca Concentra for the master bedroom, or a Hunter Paramount XP for the master bedroom, because that still hasn't been chosen out yet. I kind of rather let that person, my dad's girlfriend, choose what she wants for the room. This one's going in my room, so it's kind of more my side. But I know they all were saying that they wanted a original for the living room, so that's different there, where I kind of went out of my way to get one from Nathan and such. I mean, I kind of gave the Glendale for my grandmother in her room, so I mean that one. But that was originally going to go in her living room at the old house to replace the Bahama. Like while they were still living there, I was But since they were going to sell it, I figured maybe just hold on to it and maybe give it to them for the new house. So it was always kind of meant to be, that one, Glendale, the bronze one, was always meant to be like a gift for my grandmother. So I just didn't want to put it up and then have it get left behind and such. Oh yeah, it's definitely nice. I mean, like a medium-ish flow. Right now for medium high. Yeah, I definitely had to find another John rod. I was gonna like steal the one from the Hunter Acre and just use paint remover and remove it, but I figured just pay $20-ish for a paint remover just to do that. I feel it would be a bit much, especially if I can find a natural brush nickel one for around that price. I mean, it's barely noticeable, but even then, if I'm gonna pay $20 to use paint remover, I'd rather use it on something that it's like a decent amount that I need to use the paint remover on, not something as tiny as that. Like metal blades for an industrial fan or like a motor of it or something, not just for a tiny 2-inch down rod. I mean, the look I'm trying to go with is kind of like to have it look just like the one here, but just with I was going to do a spotlight, but I figured maybe give it a different look. At the same time, I kind of wanted to get something that at least if it, like, I mean, spotlights they can get more now, and also brush over spotlights aren't that easy to find, so I figured it'd be better just to put something more plain on this. Like a low profile looking light of sorts. I really do love the look of that. I was thinking of probably using the one from the Progress Lighting Air Pro Hugger that I got from Mark Wilson a few years back. But that thing uses very tiny light bulbs on it and such. But I actually really like how this one looks and such. But I'd rather keep that light kit with that fan, because I could always use that to put on other fans for testing. So I'd rather just put this one on it that way. I don't have to worry about pulling it out for testing to pair with another fan. The only other fan I'd put this on is a Panama, basically. Just I feel like it suits the fan really well. And it's the only fan that really fit due to the way it mounts with the 2 screws on the side. I did have to make the holes a little bit bigger just so that screws would fit to it, because the ones that I had wouldn't reach it, but there was 2 smaller screw holes that held the light in place that I made a little bit bigger so I can have the screws screw all the way into the switch housing. Yeah, even on medium loud, it definitely is pushing a good breeze. I'm not sure if these are supposed to be more powerful than XLP. I don't think they are, but I've heard that they might be about the same. I'm not really sure like what was the goal with the XTR versus the XLP at the time. Maybe it was just like a cheaper version of it, like more economical, I'm not sure. I mean, it has a pretty large spinner motor or direct drive motor, I think, is what it is, but no, I don't think it's direct drive. I mean, I know those were a bit different in this. But yeah, it definitely has like a very camp feel to it. Like that's just the look I really wanted to try to make out of it. It's about what we would kind of do it, but I feel like this gives it, I feel like a low profile light of sorts would give it more of a campy feel. I mean, it's a bit modernish looking, obviously, but I mean, with the finish and all that, but it's just the feeling I get out of it. Kind of reminds me a lot of like when I was a kid, going to like lake houses and such. I think it would even look really nice in that basement area of the apartment, not the apartment, of my dad's new house. Oh yeah, it's really pushing a nice breeze from medium high. But now to move it to the actual high speed. It has a tiny wobble to it in a high speed, but it's nothing severe. I only feel that it goes a bit slower than the one in my bedroom. But I mean, it is a spinner motor, in a sense, the XTR motor. So I mean, it kind of is to be expected in a sense. But it's still moving a great amount of air without a question. I know the wobbling might bother my dad a little bit, but it's a very slight wobble. It's nothing severe. I mean, if I bothered him a lot, I could always just get a brand new set of blades and do it, but the blades are a little bit warped in some spots, so it's like, it's gonna probably end up wobbling at some point because the blades would end up warping and such, since that is what it tends to do, so. Kind of do wish I can get the light chain to be on the other side, but like directly across from it. But it would be on the opposite side of the, and still be as close to the fan pole. I was thinking of cutting it a little bit shorter, but I figured it's better just to have it lower that way. It's kind of more obvious which one's for the light and which one's for the fan. I mean, it does give like a modern, like futuristic look, I guess. I don't know. I just really like. I saw like there was a Westinghouse contractor's choice of some sort, like on display at a place in Dominican Republic, Cuesta, and it had a light similar to this on it in anti-brands, and I just loved how that fan looked. Like it gave me like lake house camper feels to it and such. So it's kind of the look I was trying to recreate with this. Yeah, it definitely goes a bit slower than the XLP one, so I guess I can definitely. I mean, it still moves a great amount of air, but yeah, the air movement I can definitely say is a bit less than the XLP or K55 ones, but still a great air mover without a question. And the room's not that big. It's definitely smaller than the one I have at the apartment, so this will definitely be more than enough air movement for that room. The other reason why I think I'd do this instead of like a windward is those fans have more of a propeller sound when they go faster. Like a lot louder wind sounds. I figured this would be better since it's a bit more quiet. Also, I just don't know if that sound from the windwards would bother me more at night. Oops. Put it back on. I'm going to turn the light on. Oh yeah, I really can't wait to get this put up over there. Definitely make the room feel more like my own room, once I have at least something in there that's from me. I'm not sure what else it's going to be. I know like probably like some futon will go in there, which is what I prefer bed-wise, but I don't know if there's gonna be a dresser that's gonna get put in there. I know there's a closet where I can put clothes in and such, so at least I have that space. Maybe like a small dresser, who knows? Definitely want to get like maybe at least 1 or 2 posters in there. I'm not gonna overdo it like the room here because it's my dad's place and I don't think he'd like it as much, but plus the room's a lot smaller, so I definitely wouldn't want to overdo it as much. But yeah, this one's definitely a quiet one. At least it's not the noisy XTR motor. Alright. Now to shut off and do spin down. And then once that's done, I'll show it on reverse very quickly. But it's just since the light kind of blocks access to this to the reverse switch, I'd rather wait for it to spin down completely and then show it. I definitely do feel that the blades on it have a bit more pitch to it than the XLP one does. So that might be another reason why it goes a bit slower. You know, they definitely have quite a bit more pitch to them. Somewhat of a quick spin down, but I don't know if it was used a lot by the previous owners before Nathan got it. Alright. Here's low. Like if I know like there's some people who have like RVs and such, like if it was a big enough one, this is like would definitely be like a fan I'd put in like exactly the way it is for a bedroom. Or even the front room too. I mean, I'm not going to use it on reverse from there, but I figured since I have it on the test rig, might as well. Since I always like to sleep with a fan on forward even when it's colder out. I do like that it has like an extra low speed to it though, the 4-speed. It's not like the same exact low and then medium and then a little bit faster medium. Like it actually does give you an extra low speed. For a medium-ish low. I mean, it definitely does feel like a little bit faster than the normal low speed on a 3-speed Casablancas, but not by much. Like if I was to put a Casablanca fan in a bedroom in the Dominican Republic, I'd honestly put it up just like this. like in my bedroom at my grandparents' house. Like this is honestly the exact way I'd put one up. So it'd probably be a newer version just because I know they have those like where they're more they have like brushed nickel ones that are water resistant and stuff. So I wouldn't want it to get rusted down there with the climate and such. I like the Katy Gate there though. I mean, it has more of a Dominican look to the bedroom and such. I do a spotlight, but I feel like this would be more like better lighting for the room. Since down there I do prefer more lighting in that room. It's not like a type of room up here like where I like to have it more dimmer. Plus it's a bigger room that I have up here in the States. So if it was like a smaller room, this would definitely be something I prefer more. I honestly wouldn't mind having like a Panama like this in my actual room for a place that I live in. It's definitely something I can see myself doing in the future, but I definitely like the spotlight on it. Now for a kitchen, this is definitely something I can see myself doing without a question. Like right over the dining table. In fact, I feel like this would have looked really nice in my grandmother's kitchen at her roadhouse, where we put up that Hampton Bay hugger. So if it was more centered on us, I feel like this would have been like looked perfect in that kitchen. And to no surprise, it does wobble a bit more in reverse. But that's nothing that's going to bother me. Especially since I'm not going to use it on reverse, so there's that. Yeah, the fan's literally dead silent. No hum to it at all. The one in my room has a little bit of a hum to it, but it's more so because it's on the LCA and such. Alright. Now to shut off completely, and yeah, that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for more videos to come.